Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're building a highly actionable business brief focused on something I know every busy entrepreneur cares about, proving the absolute financial superiority of AI-assisted service delivery. We're going to map out exactly how to transform your hours into pure output, scale your operations, and seriously pump up those profit margins. But before we talk about any shiny new tools, we need to ask a really tough question. How much profit is your business losing to manual labor right now? Seriously, where is your operational overhead actively draining your margins? Look, as a business owner, your absolute most precious asset is time. So when you or your team get bogged down by manual processes, you aren't just losing minutes, you are literally bleeding potential revenue. Let's put a hard number on that loss. 650 hours. That's what the average knowledge worker loses every single year. Just think about that for a second. That is more than 27 full days completely wasted on repetitive, low-value admin tasks. We're talking about things like drafting standard emails or chasing down follow-ups. That's 650 hours that could have, and really should have, been spent on high-level strategy or actually closing deals. Now, contrast all that wasted time with this, a $200 billion global AI market that is growing at a staggering 37% annually. This is a massive, totally unprecedented opportunity. Every business out there is scrambling for help to implement these tools. If you can step in and master AI to reclaim those 650 lost hours, well, you instantly position yourself light years ahead of the curve. Let's look at a real-world agency workflow to see what this actually means. A standard social media manager usually spends around 6 hours brainstorming, writing, and researching hashtags for a week's worth of content. But check this out. An agency deploying an AI-powered workflow shrinks that exact same output down to just 45 minutes. That is an 87% reduction in time, with absolutely zero loss in quality when guided by a smart human editor. Traditional freelancers compete on time. AI freelancers compete on output. I love this quote because it brilliantly illustrates the fundamental mindset shift you need to make right now. If you're still billing by the hour, you're putting a hard cap on your earning potential. But by shifting from billing for your time to billing for your output and the actual value you deliver, you fundamentally rewrite your entire profit equation. All right, let's move on to our first high-ticket client service, high-value AI websites. Let's see how AI is totally transforming web creation. Instead of the traditional, painful route of spending weeks coding or paying expensive developers on retainer, the landscape has completely shifted. Tools like Framer AI and Durable let you launch professional, designer-quality sites in under 4 hours. It's almost unbelievable. You just feed it some text prompts and the AI generates the whole shebang, sitemaps, wireframes, and the initial design right out of the gate. And here is the crucial point for your business. You can take this ultra-fast AI site build, pair it with some sharp AI-generated copywriting from ChatGPT, and package it up into a premium service. Because the perceived value of a professional digital storefront is so incredibly high, independent consultants are easily selling this exact package for up to 350,000 naira per site. You're delivering massive value in a fraction of the time, which translates to a sky-high hourly profit. Next up, revenue stream 2, deploying profitable AI chatbots. Let's look at how automating customer acquisition can become one of your highest margin services. Think about it this way. Traditional brick-and-mortar businesses start losing money the very second they lock their doors at 6 p.m. But if you deploy an AI chatbot for them using a platform like Chatbase, you're essentially giving them a digital employee that works around the clock. These bots handle 24/7 lead capture, automate FAQs, seamlessly book appointments, and even make e-commerce recommendations. And the best part? They do it all without a salary, without sick days, and without ever needing sleep. You can easily package and sell these chatbot services across multiple tiers. You could set up a local clinic with a basic FAQ bot built in just one day and price it around 80,000 naira. Or on the higher end, you could scale a real estate client up to an advanced, multi-step booking bot using VoiceFlow that hooks right into their CRMs and calendars. You deliver that in maybe a week or two, and you can charge up to 600,000 naira. The profit margins here are just phenomenal. Moving right along to revenue stream 3, AI video and audio workflows. What's really fascinating here is how we can completely bypass traditional media production costs. The barrier to entry for high-quality digital content, it's basically vanished. Here is the exact 5-step workflow you can use to automate high-revenue faceless YouTube channels or offer client video services. First, you research a high-paying niche. Second, use AI to write a structured, engaging script. Third, generate a near-human voiceover. Fourth, create stunning AI visuals. And finally, use an AI video editor to stitch the whole thing together. No camera, no microphone, and absolutely no studio needed. To put the financial contrast into perspective, it's frankly absurd. Back in the day, hiring a professional video editor would easily cost you $500 a week. Booking a studio and a real voice actor for a simple podcast package, that could run you anywhere from 30,000 to 100,000 naira. But today, you can replace those massive overheads with a $5 monthly subscription to 11 Labs. It provides voice generation so naturally human that most listeners literally cannot tell the difference. Okay, so besides selling these services, we also need to focus on cost reduction. Let's talk about using AI to radically reclaim your own internal business hours. By deploying this specific core AI productivity stack, any entrepreneur can instantly automate about 10 hours of internal, tedious work every single week. You can use ChatGPT or Claude to draft your proposals, use Otter.ai to auto-transcribe and instantly summarize your meetings, throw Notion AI into the mix for brilliant task management, and then use Zapier to tie all these apps together so your data just flows in the background automatically. Let me show you how practical this gets with a simple 3-step AI email response system. First, you copy a complicated client email. Second, paste it into ChatGPT along with a quick prompt detailing the tone you want. And third, you just lightly edit and personalize the output before hitting send. That turns a draining 20-minute drafting task into a 3-minute breeze while keeping things completely professional. Multiply that by, say, 20 emails a week, you've literally just bought your entire Friday afternoon back. Once your revenue is climbing and your time is optimized, it's time to build your competitive moat. Let's look at the roadmap, scaling to an AI-first agency. By following this clear 5-step path, you can safely transition from a solo operator who is naturally capped by the hours in a day into a highly scalable, AI-leveraged agency. You start solo, of course. Then you use AI to create airtight briefs, hire subcontractors for the actual execution, systematize your delivery process, and eventually build out a full team managing massive volumes of output as an agency director. But a quick word of caution here. As you scale this agency, you absolutely must protect it. Every single piece of AI output needs to go through human quality control. It's a non-negotiable. You also have to ensure you're using commercially licensed tools, like Adobe Firefly, so your art is brand safe. Maintain strict privacy compliance with client data, and always practice transparent disclosure. Remember, AI is a wildly powerful co-pilot, but at the end of the day, you are the captain. The AI era doesn't belong to the people who know the most technical jargon about neural networks. It belongs to the people who adapt the fastest. So the only real question left for you and your business is this. Are you going to deploy these workflows today to reclaim your time and multiply your revenue? Or will you sit back and lose your competitive edge to an entrepreneur who did? The playbook is proven. It is time to get to work.